Hi everybody, it's Deborah from PeopleLovingAnimals.com. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching my video today. Today's video is about how dogs show love. In the video, we're going to go over 6 ways that dogs show love. Some of them are not that obvious. You might be surprised. I'm also going to talk with you about 3 ways that you can show your dog that you love them. And I'm also going to be giving you a link for a how much do you love your dog checklist. I think you're going to find that interesting and very helpful for dog owners. I'll tell you more about that during the video. If you do find today's video to be helpful, please go ahead and give the video a like, subscribe if you're not already, and I'm going to ask you to please share this YouTube channel with your friends and family who have a cat or a dog. I do videos several times a month all about the care and health and training of dogs and cats. Now, if you've not been here before, you don't know, I own this website called PeopleLovingAnimals.com. We're going to use this post on the website called How Dogs Show Love to guide us through today's video. I'm going to give you a link to this post in the description box, and I'll be giving you some other links in the description box that we'll talk about during the video. Again, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me. I really do appreciate it. Now, your dog may show love for you by, the obvious things. They bring you your toy, they carry your stuff around, they're leaning on you. These are the most common signs that your dog actually loves you, but there are several more ways that dogs show love that might not be quite as obvious. We're going to talk about 6 of them right now. So how do dogs show love? First of all, making eye contact. A dog will only sustain eye contact with people they love, trust, and feel safe with. If they're not okay with you, they may look into your eyes, but they're not going to sustain that eye contact. So if your dog doesn't hesitate at all to make and maintain, sustain eye contact with you, then it's a sign that they love you and they trust you and they feel okay with you. The second way is by leaning up against you. If your dog leans up against you, it means they feel comfortable, safe, and secure with you. They'll also do this if they're anxious or scared, but even still, that still shows that they trust you. They're looking to you if they're scared. So that's another pretty sure sign that they love you. The third one is if they're sleeping with you, whether you're sleeping with your dog in your bed or if they have like their own dog bed in your room. If they want to sleep in your room or close to you, it means they want to be close to you. And from an instinctual dog pack mentality, it means that they're loyal and they don't want to be separated from the pack. They're accepting you as either part of their pack or better yet, their pack leader. If you've heard me do the dog training videos, you know how important that is. The fourth way dogs will show that they love you is they're happy when you get home. This is one of my favorite parts of dog ownership. Nothing says love like a dog who can hardly contain their excitement when we come home. And as many decades as I have owned dogs, it never ceases to amaze me how excited they get every single time for years when you come home. And I had a miniature dachshund who, it didn't matter if I was gone 8 hours or if I just went out to the mailbox. Her level of excitement was the same, like no matter when I walked in the door. It was just precious, absolutely precious. The fifth way that they show love is they carry your stuff around. Now, this is not great if they're chewing on your stuff. I'm going to give you a link in the description box for help if you're having a problem with your dog chewing on stuff. But the fact that they do this does mean that they want to be close to you. If your dog does tend to carry your stuff around, like your slippers, your shoes, your socks, even, other clothing, blankets, if they're trying to drag your stuff around, they might be bordering on a little bit of separation anxiety. You might want to leave, for example, one of your dirty t-shirts, for example, leave it in their dog bed, to sleep with, and especially if you're not home. If they're if they do that, that's obviously comforting to them, and they might be struggling a bit. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. The sixth way that they could show that they love you is by bringing you a toy. Now, you should be particularly honored if they bring you their favorite toy, because again, based on their pack leader natural instincts, they will give their most beloved belongings to someone they see as the pack leader. So that's kind of like in the dog world. If they're bringing you a toy, especially if they're bringing you one of their favorite toys, that's like a real sign of love and devotion from a dog's point of view. All right, now we're going to continue on. Stick with me if you will, please. How do dogs show affection? Dogs generally show affection the same way humans do with physical contact. Your dog might start leaning on you, always wants to sit next to you, wants to sleep with you. The dog always is laying at your feet. And of course, snuggling and cuddling with you is another obvious sign of true affection. Look at this guy. See, he's laying with him. He wants to be with him. He wants to sit next to him, and he's leaning on him. The leaning is a big thing. That's a big thing for dogs, because not only is that a sign of love, but it's also a sign of trust. It's very sweet. Now, we're going to talk about 3 ways that you can tell your dog that you love them. Sometimes in our busy lives, we can forget, to make an effort to make sure that our dogs feel loved, and even to meet their needs. Sometimes, it's hard, especially if you have a full-time job, if you have kids, if you have other pets in the house. We're all dealing with a lot. So let's just talk about some of these. First of all is food. And I'm not just talking about, providing them nourishment and treats. I'm talking about try, different sorts of food and see what your dog actually thrives on. All dogs are different. Some of them do well with certain diets. Some of them don't do well with certain diets. Dogs can have food allergies and so forth. You'll know if their food is agreeing with them if they have regular bowel movements that are not too soft, not too hard. You'll know by their energy level. Do they have bright eyes and a shiny coat? Do they have an overall good disposition? Do they seem to feel well? Are they managing their weight okay? Are they not too skinny, not too fat? Do they like their food, or do they wait until the last second and they only eat it as a last resort? We had a poodle that did that when I was a kid. But it is also important to feed your dog the highest quality food. I'm going to give you a link for the Farmer's Dog. You've probably seen their commercials. I do have a review of them on my website, and I do recommend them. It's fresh food. That if you haven't heard about it before, I'll give you the link for that. But also, whenever I'm talking about pet nutrition, I always want to emphasize you don't have to feel guilty if you can't afford things like the Farmer's Dog for your pet. Okay, but I do think that you should provide your pets with the best quality food that you can afford. Okay, so don't feel guilty about that, but do the best you can for that. It's a great way to show your dog that you love them. The second way is don't make coming and going such a big deal. I think a lot of people don't really understand a dog's pack leader mentality. I don't think people generally understand what makes a dog feel safe, what makes them feel secure, what makes them happy. I think we just kind of put our own human preferences kind of onto the dog. But on that topic, don't make coming and going such a big deal. Many dogs will become unsettled, anxious, or even suffer from dog separation anxiety if they think you're leaving, and then if you're finally returning home, in their mind it's finally. I'm going to give you a link in the description box for help if you do think your dog is anxious, nervous, suffering from anxiety, and I'm also going to give you a link for help with dog separation anxiety. Now, whether or not they're having that, you need to create a regular routine when you leave your house, okay? Like every time, okay? You're ready to leave for work. You're going to get your coat. You're going to get your shoes on. You're going to get your purse, whatever you're going to do. Just, quietly, casually do that. And then simply give your dog a pat on the head. Don't do a big goodbye. I am always one to give my pets a hug and a kiss before I leave, and that's fine. But don't dote over them. Don't act like something's wrong, because if you're acting like you're upset that you're leaving, dogs are very instinctual. They're going to they're going to conclude that there's something to be upset about. Do you see what I mean? So just casually get your stuff ready, give them a pat on the head, make it no big deal. Make it no big deal that you're leaving. And then when you return, it's kind of hard because they're like we talked about, they're so excited and jumping all over and stuff when you get home. But again, you need to act like it's no big deal. You need to act like your coming and going is no big deal. So when you come in, even if your dog's jumping all over you or whatever, just put your coat away, take your shoes off, put your purse away, and then greet the dog, and do it very calmly. Now, at first, you might want to just give a casual greet, pat on the head, speak to the dog, and then wait a few minutes, and then do all the hugging and smooching if you want. Do you see what I mean? It's a very nice, a very loving thing you can do for your dog is to create a loving, kind, and very peaceful and safe environment for them. And like I said, some people don't really understand what that means to a dog, okay? So I want to go on and on, but I'm not going to. I have a tendency to go on and on. I want to stay on topic. So if you're interested in this, more topics like this, please go ahead and subscribe. I have a bunch of dog videos that you would probably enjoy. So that's the second way that you can show your dog that you love them. The third way is to keep their needs in mind. Again, it's hard. And, it's hard sometimes because we're really busy, But as dog owners, we sometimes don't realize that our dog needs more of something. We sometimes even don't realize if they're having some sort of issue that they need our help with. That makes me remember a video I did about caring for senior and elderly dogs or cats. Sometimes, our pet is getting older and the years have gone by and we don't even really realize it. And, like the cat's having a hard time jumping up on the bed, or the cat is starting to have dementia, can't find her litter box, or the dog has arthritis. He doesn't jump on the couch anymore. Well, why? Because he's in pain. He has arthritis. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes we're just not aware that our pet might be having a problem of some sort, and it doesn't necessarily have to be that they're elderly. For example, this is kind of a silly example, but I had a miniature dachshund named Maggie a very long time ago, and I gave her a pork chop bone, which my vet at the time said that was okay, but I've come to realize it's really not. But I gave her a pork chop, like the rest of the pork chop, and she's chewing on the bone and stuff. She's just little, so it was like an appropriate sized bone for her. But anyway, later in the evening, I realized the dog's mouth is open. She's like walking around with her mouth open. I'm like, what's the matter with the dog? It turned out that little round part of a pork chop bone had gotten stuck behind her back teeth. It was stuck. And her mouth was stuck open. First of all, it had to be uncomfortable. It might very well have been painful. It might have left that and went down her throat. She could have possibly choked. But how's she supposed to eat or get a drink of water? So my point is, even though it was a very stupid thing for me to do, it was 100 years ago. But my point is that, we got to pay attention. What if I hadn't realized? What if we had gone to bed that night? What if we went to work the next day and I didn't even realize that the dog was having this terrible problem? That's kind of an extreme example, but, I'm just saying, make sure that you're keeping their needs in mind. We need to make sure, obviously, that your dog's basic needs are met. Make sure their food bowl is full. Make sure their water bowl is full. Make sure their food and water bowls are clean. I can't stand it when I go to somebody's house and you look down at the pet bowls and the water bowl is disgusting. Just because you're refilling it, you got to wash it. You got to wash the thing. So that's just one of my pet peeves. Make sure that their food and water bowls are clean. Make sure you're taking them outside long enough. Make sure they're getting enough exercise. Make sure they're getting enough love, enough time with you. Okay. Now, speaking of all this, like I said, I'm going to give you a link for How much do you love your dog checklist? This was created by professional dog trainer and behavioral specialist Doggy Dan. If you've been here before for my dog training videos or my puppy training videos, you know that I swear by Doggy Dan and his dog training, and I have for more than 7 years now. He's my top recommendation because he has a lot of free stuff, for one thing. He has a lot of free dog training resources, but he also, it's just a very kind and loving and super effective and easy to follow way to train your dog. But anyway, he has this How Much Do You Love Your Dog checklist. It is free. I'm going to give you a link to it. And I think you're going to want to go ahead and read that because some of the things we've talked about as far as how can you show your dog that you love them, he goes into several more than the 3 that we talked about, and he goes into quite a bit of detail, and you're going to learn a lot. You'll learn a lot from that little checklist. So I hope that you'll go ahead and click on that link and take advantage of it. And like I say, it's free. So go ahead and share it with your friends who have dogs, okay? I would love it if you would comment and let me know ways that your dog shows love. I think that we could have some really cute and funny comments below this video if you would just take a minute and share something maybe unique that your dog does to show love. I think that would just be a really fun conversation for all of us to be having in the description box. Now, a couple more things before we go. First of all, I donate to animal charities. I do peoplelovinganimals.com as my job. And I donate 10% of my earnings from the website and also from this YouTube channel to animal charities. And if you go to the homepage of my website, peoplelovinganimals.com, you'll be able to see a list of the animal charities that I donate to. So again, thanks so much for watching. I hope that today's video was helpful. I hope that you'll take advantage of the things that we talked about that I'm giving you the links for in the description box. And I hope that you'll share this with your friends and family who have a dog. Again, stay tuned. I'm going to be doing a video about how cats show love very soon. And I think it's kind of fitting for Valentine's Day. It happens to be February 1st right now, the day I'm recording this. So again, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, share the video, and come back soon. Thanks again. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.